Hello everyone and welcome to another Ultimate Fighter episode review. This for episode 4, Young and Hungry, and I apologise if I look slightly out of sorts or disheveled or whatever. I was just did a lot of work in the living room helping move furniture around and stuff, so I'm a little bit tired, I won't lie, but I have the energy to do this video, so let's just go and get right onto it. So, pretty much keeping the theme, which I definitely know they're going to keep until the end of the season now. If it happens for 4 episodes, it's definitely going to happen for the entire 12, because there's normally 12 in Ultimate Fighter season anyway. They kept doing the video packages about the fighters fighting in this episode: Shelton from Team Benavidez and Yoni Sherbatov from Team Cejudo. We find out that both men are a family man. They both have their own family. Yoni Sherbatov has 2 kids, I believe. Eric has 4. And they have slightly different stories. Obviously, they both want to win to support themselves and their families. But with Eric, it's kind of more urgent because, when he grew up and started, going around and having these kids, I don't really want to say too bad about him because I like Eric Shelton a lot. He, realised along the way that they had to clean up his act, which is where he found fighting, so he took that up. He still sees all his kids and they still, pretty much live with him. And he has his girlfriend now, so which is very nice. And Yoni, kind of a similar story. I think he's married to his other half. I mean, I just think so. We don't know for sure, but it is nice that they're both family men. And like I said, it's nice to see these video packages about the fighters. It's just a really, really cool thing they've added, and it especially works for this season because these are fighters that are champions in promotions all over the world in MMA. So it's nice to see their backgrounds from their respective places where they come from, like different places: America, Canada, the UK, New Zealand, Australia, many places. It's just so brilliant. Also, kind of keeping with the subject of video, the coaches who have both lost to Demetrius Johnson, Benavidez lost twice, actually decide to show their teams some video footage of the fights. Obviously, for those who haven't seen them, sorry, I had something stuck in the corner of my mouth. For those who haven't seen them, yeah, that was disgusting. For those who haven't seen them, take 3. They basically the fight didn't go well for either of them. For Benavidez and Demetrius Johnson one, it was kind of a closer fight. It wasn't the most exciting. In their second one, obviously a lot had changed for both men, and Mighty Mouse knocked Benavidez the hell out in very quick fashion. And Cejudo's fight, he's only had the one fight for against Johnson, and Johnson won that one also by striking finish after he kneed Cejudo really hard in the body, then did a lot more of those, then finished him on the ground with a good TKO. So he knocked out Benavidez, he TKO'd Cejudo, and basically they showed these videos to their fighters because they want the fighters to not make the same mistakes that they did when they fought Mighty Mouse. And I think that's a very, very good strategy, especially considering that when the fighters go into the Ultimate Fight House, they don't really have much in the way of technology or much contact with the world outside, with the exception of the cameras following them and interviewing them and backstage stuff and everything. But they don't have phones. They don't really get to write letters much. You do see it, but it's very, very rare. The most they really have of their families is usually photos or tattoos in some cases. So yeah, it was very nice to see the video footage being shown of the respective losses of the coaches. So it was just a smart move on their part, I think. And then we get to the fight itself. Sorry, okay, I had a bit of a mess up with my clock there. Yeah, and then we get to the fight itself, which was between Shelton and Sherbatov. Throughout this entire season so far, we've had finishes, 3 episodes, 4 finishes, because there was 2 fights in the first episode, but finishes, blah, blah, blah. And then we get to this episode, and the finishes do continue, and it's another win for Benavidez. So it's 3 for Cejudo, 2 for Benavidez. Eric Shelton beat Sherbatov late, 1 minute 20 left in the second round, by rear naked choke. First round was pretty even. They were both landing great strikes. They were both landing good takedowns as well, doing some good groundwork. I give the first round slight edge to Shelton because I felt like he was doing more. Between the two, they were both going for pretty big strikes, but Shelton was landing more in the exchanges. I felt like Sherbatov was just looking for the one big punch that would knock Shelton out, and it didn't really benefit him so well in the first round. It can benefit some fighters if they know how to use it, and I'm not saying Sherbatov doesn't know how to use it. I mean, obviously he does, otherwise he wouldn't be fighting in the tournament or at all in the first place, but he just couldn't land it against Mitchell. Mitchell, I almost said Mitchell. Shelton, who is like 4 inches taller, has longer reach, so it didn't really work out well for Sherbatov. And Zacharenda was more the same, although there was more takedowns exchanged, and then eventually there was a point where Shelton got Sherbatov against the cage, and Sherbatov just looked tired. Like, he looked like he didn't want to be there anymore. And it got to a point where he kind of gave up his back. Shelton managed to seize it and sink in a rear naked choke. It was just brilliantly done. A great way to end the fight. And another good win for Benavidez, 3-2. Even though, considering that it's a fight, it's a tournament to see which fight will be able to fight the flyweight champion at the end of it, it doesn't mean that the coaches can't be a bit cocky about their record at the end of it all. And the last thing to say is the next fight, which is Jamie Alvarez from Team Cejudo against Ronaldo Candido from Team Benavidez. I almost screwed up. Speaking of screwing up, I just remembered something kind of hilarious that went on when they called the fight. There's the next fight between Candido and Alvarez. Cejudo tried to say Ronaldo's name in Portuguese, which is like Ronaldo. I might be butchering it, but I don't care. Instead, he accidentally said Rafael. Rafael is not his name. His name is Ronaldo. So that was an enjoyable little cock-up, which made me laugh. So yeah, there was that, and they, from there, obviously they called the fight, which I've gone over like 5 times now, and then episode ends. Woot. Another good episode. It was a decent fight all in all. My fight of the season is definitely still the first one between Moreno and Alexandre Pantoja. I thought that was a great fight. And I'm looking forward to seeing more, and I will see you all on Monday for my review of Cyborg versus Landsberg. Looking forward to that. Take care. Peace.